He clashed with the strongest man in the world, made a Navy Admiral freeze mid-attack, and forced Kaido, the strongest creature alive, to back off. His supreme conqueror's Haki transcends everyone in the verse. Alright, so today we'll be diving into how strong is the Yonko with no devil fruit, red hair Shanks. As of right now, Shanks has mastery over all 3 types of Haki, including ornament, observation, and conquerors, with his conquerors being the second most powerful aside from Joy Boy. He was able to neutralize and scare Admiral Greenblue with his conquerors alone. Red hair Shanks also excels at observation Haki, as we saw him see into the future while fighting Kid. Aside from his Haki, one of Shanks' biggest feats was stopping Kaido from coming to Marineford. The reason why I say this fight likely happened is because Kaido was very stubborn by personality and was not someone who backed off from an emperor. Kaido wanted to fight Whitebeard, who had the title of the strongest man in the world, and he did not even back off from Big Mom. Not to mention that Shanks came without a scar. Even if they didn't fight a full-scale battle, I'm pretty sure that there was a clash between Haki or swords, and Kaido decided to pull back since it would have been a high diff fight for him. The main point here is that they were relative, or Shanks was stronger, considering he showed up to Marineford and Kaido did not. This feat easily puts Shanks around high Yonko level. The next major feat Shanks has is clashing with Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world. I totally agreed that Whitebeard was a sick old man not in his prime, but the fact that Whitebeard as an old man was able to tilt an entire ocean and go on par with the admirals indicates that he was still very strong. Old Whitebeard definitely lost to Akainu, but he did knock him down for a couple chapters, which is very impressive, and even Shanks was not scared to clash with Whitebeard. One thing to know is that Shanks is not a very low IQ character, and chances are he wouldn't have clashed with Whitebeard if he was gonna lose. His next feat was stopping Akainu's attack back in Marineford, and Akainu has the most powerful devil fruit when it comes to attacking power. The fact that Akainu did not want to fight him indicates that Shanks would have been very strong, considering Akainu was very tired. I'm not sure if Shanks could have won that time, but I do scale them around relative since they both could go on par with Whitebeard and beat him. Another reason why Akainu pulled back is that it would have led to even more damage and it was not worth it. Then later on, Akainu went on to become a fleet admiral by surpassing Aokiji, and considering that Shanks' clothes are relative to Akainu means he's stronger than Aokiji. One of Shanks' most recent feats was one-shotting Useless Kid, who did very well against Big Mom and defeated her with Law. Kid may have not been very strong, but he's definitely around Zoro, Sanji, King, and Marco in terms of power. Shanks can also use Kamusari, which even sent Kozuki Oden flying. Let's move on to Shanks' most recent feat, which is defeating Loki, the Prince of Elbaf. This one can be tricky since Loki calls Shanks a coward, which can indicate that Shanks goes on to jump people with his entire crew rather than fighting them alone. But there is a higher possibility that Shanks goes on to fight people fair and square since he fought Kid alone. Loki has a special bounty of around 2.6 billion berries and is feared by the entirety of Elbaf. We haven't seen most of Loki's true powers, but we do know that he has an insanely good observation Haki, as in recent chapters, both Luffy and him can see far into the future, which even Zoro and Sanji can't. I've gotten Loki to around low admiral level, rivaling Greenblue and Fujitora. He's definitely a bit stronger than Greenblue and Fujitora, but weaker than Big Mom. Now we're moving on to Shanks' last and the biggest feat. Shanks is stated to be on par with Mihawk, was considered to be the strongest swordsman in the entire verse. The fact that Mihawk is considered to be the strongest swordsman easily puts him over Greenblue, Fujitora, Nojuro, and most people who wield a sword. It's also been stated that Mihawk is superior in terms of swordsmanship, but Shanks is superior Haki. One massive advantage Shanks has over everyone is that he can fight a full-scale battle in the ocean without having the fear of drowning. He'd also put up a decent fight against Blackbeard since Blackbeard cannot nullify his devil fruit since he does not have one. I would easily put him over Luffy and Kizaru since Luffy does not have enough stamina and Kizaru is fairly relative to Luffy. There's also a very good possibility that Kizaru cannot tank a Kamusari. Regardless, it's still going to be a high diff fight for Shanks. As for an all-out brawl against Blackbeard, he has an advantage, but he's still going to end up losing because of his durability and the Gura Gura no Mi. At the end, Shanks is still a human and got his arm torn off by a fish, so I doubt he's withstanding a combination of Gura Gura no Mi and a bit of Yami Yami no Mi. It's going to be a very high diff fight for Blackbeard unless they're fighting in water or ships, because Shanks can easily land a Kamusari and the fight just ends right there. In conclusion, he does scale around Akainu and Blackbeard, so he should be very relative to them. In my opinion, Akainu and Blackbeard are stronger, but it is a matter of perspective because they're very close. The reason why I put him over Shanks is because they have more attacks, and the only thing Shanks has over them is conquerors and maybe speed. They have more abilities, durability, and attacking power. So yeah, Shanks is the top tier in the verse with Akainu and Blackbeard.